Most men don't stop caring after 60. They stop asking, not because nothing changed, but because asking feels unnecessary, or awkward, or too late. Silence starts to feel like safety, but silence isn't safety. It's just quiet. This isn't about pleasure. It's not about morality, and it's definitely not about wanting too much. It's about function, about signals, about how the body adapts when conditions change. Doctors notice patterns men don't talk about. Circulation shifts, nerve signaling slows, hormonal timing changes. None of it announces itself loudly. It just reroutes. Here's the calm truth most men never hear. The body doesn't respond to intention. It responds to use and to conditions. You can want things deeply and still not be supporting the system that delivers them. That doesn't mean something is wrong. It means something is different. And in a moment, I'll explain why the body doesn't pause after 60. It quietly reroutes. Urologists don't judge behavior. They observe systems. They don't ask what a man wants. They look at what the body is doing over time. After 60, erections don't disappear. They become conditional. That's the shift most headlines miss. Blood flow starts to reprioritize towards survival and stability. Nerve signaling becomes less efficient when it's not regularly invited to participate, not punished, just unused. And testosterone? It's often misunderstood. It's not fuel that forces performance. It's permission, a gatekeeper that says, conditions are safe, systems are ready. When those signals aren't reinforced, the body interprets silence as shutdown, not failure, conservation. That's the part no one tells men. This isn't about frequency or habits being good or bad. It's about whether the loop is still being acknowledged by the body at all. And to understand why this happens and how it reverses, you need to see the loop most men never learn. An erection is not a switch you flip. It's a sequence you support. This is where structure replaces confusion. Think of it as the erection control loop. 3 parts, working together. First, blood flow, not speed. Availability, vessels that are responsive, not stressed. Second, nerve signaling, clear communication between brain and body. Timing matters more than force. Third, testosterone acting as the gatekeeper, not pushing the process forward, but allowing it to happen when conditions feel stable. When one part lags, the loop hesitates. Here's the mistake. Stimulation is often confused with system health. Intensity is mistaken for effectiveness, but stimulation only triggers sensation. It doesn't rebuild circulation. It doesn't train nerve timing, and it doesn't convince testosterone that the environment is safe. That's why trying harder usually backfires. Rhythm beats urgency. Support beats force. Not broken, just different conditions. And this, right here, is where most men unknowingly make things worse. Most men fall into one of 2 extremes. They either do nothing at all, hoping time will handle it, or they push aggressively. More stimulation, more pressure, more urgency. Both sabotage recovery. Aggressive stimulation floods the senses but blurs the signal. The nerves stop distinguishing important from loud. Sensation goes up, control goes down. That's desensitization, not damage, just overload. On the other side, total silence creates a different message. The system receives no invitation, no rhythm, no reason to stay responsive. This is where performance anxiety quietly forms. The body hesitates. The mind watches. Tension replaces timing. The loop tightens and confidence drops. This isn't about willpower, and it's not a personal failure. It's simply how systems behave when pushed or ignored. No blame, just clarity. And in a minute, I'll show you why doing nothing creates a different, but equally real, problem. The body is efficient, not emotional. It allocates resources based on demand. When a system isn't regularly called upon, the body doesn't argue, it adapts. Blood vessels respond to usage. When demand drops, responsiveness softens. Not collapse, just less urgency. Nerves behave the same way. Without regular, clear signaling, they become quieter, slower, less precise. The brain then steps in and predicts. It assumes this pathway isn't needed right now, so desire may still exist, but response lags behind. That disconnect is confusing and often misinterpreted as loss. It's not loss, it's adaptation. No punishment, no judgment, just physiology. That's the part no one explains calmly, and this is where men often panic, thinking the door has closed permanently. It hasn't. Let me tell you about a man in his late 60s who learned this too late, then reversed it. He was in his late 60s, sharp mind, strong sense of self. His desire never left. That's why the change confused him. When performance became inconsistent, he chose silence. He assumed restraint would preserve strength, less demand, less pressure. Months passed. What returned wasn't clarity, but distance. Erections became unpredictable, not gone, just unreliable. And that uncertainty created hesitation. When he finally spoke with a professional, the answer wasn't damage. It was disconnection. The system hadn't been invited to stay responsive. No aggressive fixes, no urgency, just gentle, regular signaling, lower intensity, more rhythm. Within weeks, response began to return, not perfectly, but predictably. That shift changed everything, because this leads to a window most men miss, not because it's hidden, but because they rush. After 60, instant recovery stories create the wrong expectation. Systems don't snap back, they warm up. This is what I call the reawakening window, a 2-3 week period where consistent conditions allow reliability to return, not overnight, in sequence. First, blood flow becomes more responsive. Vessels remember how to open on cue, then nerve timing sharpens. Signals arrive cleaner, with less delay. Confidence follows last, because predictability replaces guessing. That order matters. Panic interrupts it, testing daily, forcing results, overchecking. Each reset tells the body, conditions aren't stable yet. That's the part most men accidentally make worse. The goal isn't intensity, it's repeatability, not racing toward performance, but restoring trust in the loop. And here's the key clarification most videos skip. Masturbation alone isn't the condition. It's only one signal among many. Before we go further, a calm reminder. This is education, not treatment, not diagnosis. What matters here are conditions, not fixes. The body responds to environment, to rhythm, to signals it can trust. Sleep sets the hormonal clock. Irregular rest confuses timing. Gentle daily walking keeps circulation responsive without stress. Hydration supports blood volume and vessel elasticity. A daily stress downshift, quiet breathing, stillness, less noise, tells the nervous system it's safe to respond. And yes, a predictable sexual rhythm matters. Not aggressive, not performative, just consistent enough to keep the loop acknowledged. None of this forces erections. That's not the goal. These conditions support responsiveness. They lower friction. They let the system do what it already knows how to do. Trying harder tightens the loop. Supporting conditions loosens it. And one man understood this better than most. And he wasn't a doctor. He was a retired coach in his early 70s, used to structure, used to patience. When performance became unreliable, he didn't chase quick answers. He treated recovery like training, not competition. No daily testing, no panic checks, no forcing outcomes. He focused on conditions, sleep on time, walks every morning, stress kept low, a calm, predictable rhythm instead of pressure. Weeks passed. Control returned before intensity ever did. And with control came confidence, not bravado, but steadiness, the kind that doesn't need proof every day. That's the difference discipline makes. Not dominance over the body, but cooperation with it. That's the part no one glamorizes. And this is what masculinity looks like after 60. Here's the calm truth to take with you. After 60, this isn't about tricks. It's about systems. The erection control loop doesn't disappear. It waits for conditions it can trust. Blood flow first, nerve signaling next, testosterone granting permission when the environment feels stable. The reawakening window isn't hope, it's physiology. 2 to 3 weeks of consistency before reliability returns. Panic shortens it, patience protects it. If you're on medication or managing heart issues or diabetes, this is the moment to pause and speak with a qualified professional before making changes. Education empowers, but safety always comes first. What matters most is this: you're not late, you're not broken, and you don't need urgency to regain control. Support the system. Let rhythm replace pressure. Let confidence follow predictability. No race, no shame. Predictable rebuild on your terms. And if you want the next video on rebuilding blood flow after 60, type control in the comments.